The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Week in Weed Studios. This is the Sportsocracy. I'm Jeremy Greene. He's Brian Haynes. And this is the LA Chargers three-round mock draft. We are doing every team, pick by pick, 3 rounds of the NFL mock draft ahead of the draft on April 29th. Brian, if you're the LA Chargers, what do you do in the first round?
They need a lot of things, especially I think they, getting Corey Lindsey in the offseason was really good for the offensive line, but I still think they need some help on the offensive line. Losing Hunter Henry probably means they want to get another tight end. Defensive line, linebacker, cornerback, they got to get better on defense. I know they get hopefully Derwin James and Joey Bosa back this year. Hopefully they'll be ready to rock again, but that hurt them last year tremendously. They were in games all the time, but they just never seemed to be able to finish the games. Brandon Staley takes over at head coach, Anthony Lynn leaves, and let's see what this brings to Justin Herbert was unbelievable last year. Did better than anybody expected, I believe.
I'll be really honest with you. I think Staley coming in for Anthony Lynn is a 3-win improvement by itself. Mm-hmm. The Chargers are on the clock. Oh. Let's try that again. With the 13th pick in the first round, I have them taking J.C. Horn, the cornerback out of South Carolina. This is one of my favorite players in this draft. He has skyrocketed up boards. This is actually former Saints wide receiver Joe Horn's son. He just jumps off film to me watching him in South Carolina. Brian, what are your thoughts on J.C. Horn?
3-year starter, plays very physical. He can play in multiple schemes. I think he's going to fit amazing in this San Diego defense.
L.A.
Wow.
You did that same thing I do all the time.
Wow. Well, get out of my head.
I need this team to take that stadium and move back to San Diego.
I apologize. He has really great catch-up speed. I think that, behind Patrick Surtain, and there's actually some people I see that have J.C. Horn over him, but I do believe that he's going to be the second cornerback off the board. I think this is a home run for the Chargers, and I think it'll be really good.
One of the knocks that I see on him is that he never graded out all that well. There wasn't a lot on that defense around him, and Will Muschamp asked him to do a lot. I think with Derwin James behind him, the level of pass rush that they get in L.A., I think J.C. Horn would be a home run. With the 47th pick in the second round, I have him taking Sam Cosmi, the offensive tackle from Texas. This is a kid that I really like. Mm-hmm. He is freakishly athletic to be 6'7" and 310. There are not a lot of guys that I look at and go, you can definitively be a left tackle in this league. Sam Cosmi has been one that I think has been undervalued through the whole process, and I think he would be a home run for the Chargers in the middle of the second round.
Yeah, the more tape I see on this guy, the more I get excited about him. We talk about this all the time that the tackle depth in this draft is really low. He's going to be really, really good, I believe. He's got a really solid technique. He can get to all 3 levels. He's another 3-year starter guy. I talk about this all the time. I love guys who started multiple years in college. And, he just needs to get a little bit better in pass pro.
I agree. He gets a little deep in pass pro sets. I think that can be coached out. I like the idea of pairing him with Justin Herbert. I think this would be a fantastic pick for the Chargers. With their first pick in the third round, I have them taking Osa Odighizuwa. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't have my I don't have my pronunciation guide yet. I'm going with how I said it last year.
Yeah.
Out of UCLA. This is a kid that is a little light to be playing in a defense like this, but he's so agile that I think he can do multiple things.
Yeah.
He's incredibly strong. His legs are ridiculous. He kind of reminds me of Shelby Harris, and I think in a defense like the Chargers, there is definitely a spot for him there.
Yeah, he's definitely a tweener between that the base and the 3 technique. He can play multiple positions, though. The only thing I find a little bit, he finds gaps well, but he he needs to get off his blocks better, and I think NFL size might be able to push him around a little bit.
Well, I think and I'll be honest with you, I think he's going to be able to add size without losing burst. He's very heavy-handed. There's some people will say he's not as agile as you would expect him to be at 280 pounds. I don't think he's going to play at 280 pounds.
Right.
I think he's going to play closer to 290. He could wind up at 300 pounds, and if that's the case, I think if he was 2 inches taller and 20 pounds heavier, this is a guy you could very easily be talking about in the second round range. I like him better than several interior linemen that are getting more pub than him. I look at this guy and go with Bosa and all of the weapons they have there, I think he could be a tremendous value for this team. With their latter third-round pick, I have them taking Jamien Sherwood, the safety from Auburn. Brian, what are your thoughts on Jamien Sherwood?
He's a big physical safety. He has the size to cover tight ends, which I think is definitely something that will be helpful for them in that conference there. You're going to have Noah Fant, and you got a lot of other great tight ends in that conference there. A little bit about what he gets confused on some route combinations sometimes. My only small knock on him, but I think he's actually one of the higher safeties on the board in a very deep safety draft.
I agree. He's not great in coverage. This is a guy he's got a lot of burst, but doesn't have a lot of range. His long range speed does not match what you see in short bursts. This is a guy that's going to have to be coached up, but I think he would be a good replacement to Rayshawn Jenkins, who left and went to the Jaguars. I like this kid. I like the tape. I know he didn't grade out particularly well. He was at Auburn. Always remember that. A lot of guys have come out of Auburn and not necessarily graded out all that well.
No.
Because Gus Malzahn ran a faster-paced offense. They did things that they asked the defense to do a lot. And I feel like Jamien Sherwood's a guy that I think is going to be a better pro than he was college football player.
Absolutely.
Live from the Wicked Weed studio, this has been the LA Chargers. I almost did it right there. The LA Chargers 3-round mock draft. Be sure to click the little beer icon in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe to this channel so you'll know every time we go live, which is weekdays at 9 a.m. every weekday here from the Wicked Weed studios. We'll also be live for every pick of the 2021 NFL Draft as they happen, giving you full analysis, telling jokes. We're going to have podcasters from all over the country hopping onto this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Be sure to click the little beer icon, subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time.